the GTech. Let me just take off this earpiece. It's distracting my thoughts. Welcome back to the GTech Public School or Public Economics Conference of 2024. If you caught the first session of the event, I'm sure you enjoyed it. We started it with the Ronette giving us an outline, Dr. Duncan Peters, as well as the SARS Commissioner coming in there, really giving us all information about data in as far as National Treasury and SARS is concerned. And joining us now on the red carpet is Dr. Duncan Peters, who's the Director General of the National Treasury. We just want to get a sense of his thoughts around the event and more things. Dr. Duncan, thank you so much for joining us. Looking good as always.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You know, it's always a privilege to see you making time for events like this.
No, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I was involved in the first GTAC Winter School Public Economic Conference in 2016, I think it was. And then I came back as the academic convener of the conference in 2017. So it's always been an event that's close to my heart. I think any event that brings together academics, students, government departments is always something that will resonate. So happy to be back here and very impressed to see how the event has grown over time. It's certainly much more sophisticated than it was in my day when I was managing it and part of the team. So well done to you and Renette and the other colleagues.
Thank you. I was going to ask about the evolution of it and the National Treasury's role in this. And I'm glad that now you are at the executive seat of the Treasury. The event is still going on. How do you see this event evolving over the next few years?
Well, I think the one innovation that's been interesting has been the hybrid innovation. Because, of course, when we were doing when the event started all those years ago, it was everyone together in the same venue. Back then, it used to be at the University of Pretoria, and that had a certain attraction to it in terms of being able to interact with everyone and interact with the students. But of course, it also had certain limitations in terms of the number of students you could accommodate. So I think the hybrid is a very good innovation because, of course, now you're able to bring in many more students and you're able to crowd in more resources in that way. And I think that's an important part of the evolution going forward. I think the other aspect is initially the Winter School Public Economics Conference was very much focused on the student academic interface. And I think what the organizers have strengthened over the last couple of years is bringing in the policymakers much more meaningfully, so that the students still get exposure to the latest thinking, but they are spending a lot more time also engaging with policymakers and understanding policy issues. And I think that's the real benefit of the conference.
That's beautiful. And how do you see the National Treasury embracing the use of technology in its work, given the era that we are in, the use of data and technology?
Look, I spoke about it in the earlier session today. We have, for the first time in our history, appointed a Chief Data Analytics Officer. And I think that's a very important first step because we are putting the discussion about technology at the center of the work that we do. Dr. Ayanda Shlatwayo, who's the Chief Data Analytics Officer, is an economist by training, but has worked a lot with large data, has worked a lot with administrative data, and has over the years developed her own skill sets in how do you use big data to inform policy. So in terms of her work, she's starting with a data maturity assessment of the organization, understanding how we currently use data, what skill sets we have to use data, and what we need to do at a division by division level to transition our processes into the future. Simple things like process automation, how do we use AI in our activities, how do we leverage data analytics much more meaningfully in our analytical work, all of those questions she's having to grapple with. So we look forward to that, and I think it's an exciting time for the Treasury from that perspective.
Finally, before I let you go, you have young students here that are around. What's your advice to some of them that are looking forward to joining the public sector?
Well, I think the one thing I would say is that they have to pay a lot of attention to how technology is changing and what that means for the skill set that they have to acquire in order to ensure that they remain relevant in the workplace. Certainly when I was a student, a lot of the ways in which we interacted, for example, with data analytics was almost an afterthought as we were going through the complex calculus and research work and our usual training to become an economist. I think it's no longer an afterthought. I think now with universities introducing data science in their curricula, I think students have to think much more carefully about how they sharpen that skill set so that when they join the labor force, they are able to hit the ground running.
Dr. Duncan Pieterse, all the best for the work ahead. I know we are preparing for the MTBPS with big challenge ahead. Wishing you all the best. We'll see you around sometime soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Lucy. Thanks so much.
Keep well. That was Dr. Duncan Pieterse joining us here on the red carpet of the GTech PEC of 2024, giving us all the insights about the work that the Treasury is doing in as far as data and technology is concerned. I understand we have someone waiting for us. Amanda Jitsing is waiting for us to join and have a conversation with us about her thoughts on the GTech conference so far. So we're going to bring you more of these experts from time to time. So let's welcome Amanda here to join us. Amanda, come through. Thank you so much.
Hi, Vusi. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Looking good.
Excellent job.
I'm flattered.
Great stuff. So I've been told to punt the spending reviews a bit and tell the audience about the spending reviews and what we do at GTAC and to get the students to look at them because there's potential for a research topic there if you're doing your master's. So at GTAC, we do a number of spending reviews, and what spending reviews really are is a methodology where you can use big data, government administrative data to unpack what government is spending on. And if you're really good at maths and statistics, what you can do is take that data and combine it with delivery data or performance data to create a full picture about what we're buying with the money that we spend as government. So we've done close to 200, 250 spending reviews across national and provincial government. We haven't quite gotten to local government, but it's probably the next thing that we will do. And all the spending reviews that we've done are available on the GTAC website. It's www.gtac.gov.za.
That's correct.
And you will get on that website, particularly if you're a student or an academic, you will get the spending review report, but also the data set, as well as the model that we developed. So play around with it, go look up the spending reviews, and go to the Treasury website where you can download through the data portal a whole lot of data that you can play around. So for students out there, great, it's a potential research project.
Amanda, thank you so much for your time. Certainly students will go online and get all this data. Interesting work. I've seen some of the spending review work you've done. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely conference.
Have a lovely conference too. Take care too. That is Amanda Jitsing, the long-term serving advisor of GTech, that is Government Technical Advisory Center in Pretoria, Tshwane. We're coming to you live from Pretoria in the capital city. That is the mainland. Yeah, that's where we are. And thank you so much for joining us online. We have someone that I've known for a very long time, Daniel Makone, who's one of the panelists who's going to help us in the conference earlier on. And he's joining me now on the red carpet to just give a few thoughts around the conference. Mr. Makone, good to see you. Looking good?
Yes, Vusi, good to see you as well. Looking good. And so far, I mean, the conference has really been eye-opening. That first session with the DG and the Commissioner, I think were really kind of useful in setting the tone and what's already happening in the public sector around digital transformation, and particularly the use of data and decision making and in public finance. So yeah, I thought that was really quite a nice way to kick off everything.
Now that we've kicked off everything, what should people look out for in your presentation?
So we are doing a panel with CETA, Gauteng Province and Eastern Cape. So it's really kind of talking about the implementation of these projects leading towards digitalization. So I think it's really going to be interesting in seeing what the challenges are, how we've been resolving the challenges, and what actually goes into implementing these projects and these systems. Because I think so far the conversations are really on a conceptual note, but now we're delving into actual practical projects and implementation, and this is backed by spending reviews that we've done on the broadband and ICT in the Eastern Cape. So I think that will be quite an interesting perspective to show how government really is trying to drive this digital agenda.
And what time is your session coming again?
So my session is just after lunch. We'll be on from about 13:30. So yeah, that's when we'll be having our discussion.
Daniel, thank you so much. We wish you all the best with your session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
That is Daniel Makoni, who's one of the IT experts doing some work with CETA. He's going to give us a session on technology and data that has been used by government. We're going to go to a break. I think when we connect, we should be coming live from the event and taking the feed to where we continue. So stay put, don't go anywhere. We still have more to offer. And this is the GTech PEC 2024.